Today we're going to engage in a classic spiritual practice, one that the church has actually been doing for hundreds of years, known as the prayer of Examen, or the examination of our consciousness. Now, we did the Examen together a couple of months ago in our sort of extended practice service, and we heard from a number of you that it did connect well. So we're going to engage it again as a way of continuing to develop those muscles. Now, this is a practice of looking backwards and trying to notice where God was at work in the past in order to more easily spot and open up to where God is at work in our present moments. Now, since the regular noise of life tends to drown out that awareness. Now, the Examen's meant to open us up to both the beautiful and the difficult in our lives, both of which are deep places to encounter God. In Examen, we try to observe two things: the times when we felt most close and connected to God, and the times when we felt most disconnected from God's presence. Now, you can practice Examen looking back over different chunks of time, a month, a year, a season of life. It's actually most valuable practiced at the end of every day. That's kind of the sweet spot. But today we're going to practice just by looking over the past week. So go ahead and get comfortable. Maybe take a few deep breaths. Start to quiet your mind and just tune out any distractions if you can. You can close your eyes if that maybe helps you. Now, a good Examen requires slow, unhurried, attentive time. What we do here in service is always just kind of a tiny taste so that you get a feel for how to practice on your own. It's just a start, but it's a start. So try to think all the way back to last Sunday, if that's the day you're watching this. Maybe you were right there in that same place where you are right now. Maybe you were someplace else. Can you remember back that far? What has gone on in life this week? As you think back over the past 7 days, at what points did you feel most aware of and most connected to God? And if that seems like a daunting question, think of it like, when did you feel most alive this week? When did you feel grateful? Where did you experience love, either given or received? Where was there hope, peace, the fruit of God's presence? Well, try to think very specifically, where were you? What were you doing in those moments? Take a couple of minutes, and as those memories surface for you, just notice, just observe them, and then go ahead and re-savor them a little bit. Now take just a couple more seconds and express a thank you to God for those experiences. And now, we'll try to find where we felt disconnected from the love and presence of God. Now, it's not that God actually goes away, ever. But often things surface in Examen that help us realize the ways our tuned-inness might have drifted from God over the course of a day. So as those moments now also surface for you, just acknowledge them honestly and then let them go and realign your heart and mind back to Christ. There's no need to judge or shame ourselves. That's not what this is. We just want to keep drawing ourselves back into the goodness of God, letting go of anything in the way. So when in the past week might you have felt disconnected, maybe empty, lonely, or alone? When did you feel like God was far away or like you were far from God? Try to get specific again. Where were you? What was going on at that time? Now take a few more seconds and just release all that disconnection to God, receiving back mercy. The truth is, God is deeply present in all of the intricacies of our lives. When we're aware of it and when we're not, Jesus is endlessly working to bring about the full redemption of our hearts and lives. And the more we can tune into that working, joining our efforts with His, the more and more of Christ's love and presence here on earth we will experience and be able to share with those around us. So the more regularly you practice this, the easier it will become to genuinely live in that reality, sensing God more and more clearly every minute of every day. So, happy practicing.